or they're just gonna say, hey, no, when you hit that accept button for this app, you already agreed to all that, buddy.
Hermit in a cave, dude. Because if you participate in modern society, you're online. Your shit is tracked, even if you don't have social media yourself.
Children there, but I mean, adults are in the same boat these days, right? We kind of got our neck downs in these devices also. So I don't look to Mark Zuckerberg um, to police my kids' app usage
Again,
and
in my personal experience, I have tried a few medications, throughout my life, some stuff for like trying to help with mental health. And I always had horrible, horrible reactions and made things,
yeah, yeah.
infinitely worse.
Got lights on the PX sign. Grab a snack, make the mission in time. Boots on gravel, stories begun. One last lap on a Shoppette Run.
Right.
All right, cool. Hey, man. As always, appreciate your time, man. Got 4 videos today, so we're gonna try to get through all these joints today. Man, we never plug. I'm gonna plug this time. Mine's a
Okay.
Nation. What all platforms are you on?
I think it's on pretty much everywhere. It's going to be on Spotify, iTunes. There's a video version on YouTube, so pretty much everywhere. I think it's on Amazon Music. I got to double tap that one. Outside of that, I don't know what any kind of obscure, platforms people use, but it honestly should be in most of those too.
But the video version, is it on your personal page or you have a page specific for that?
Yeah, yeah, it's just under my personal page right now. I probably at some point should make like a show page and a show social media, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. It's just all under my personal banner, and I can't even remember what my YouTube is off the top of my head. Probably just got to Google my name or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, let's plug it. Then I'll put something in the show notes, and then I'll throw the logo up when I do the editing for this one here. But we got
Oh
four
yeah,
videos, so
appreciate you.
let's go ahead and get this one started and try to get through all these today.
Very popular and seems like a bit of fun, but could there be a dark side lurking beneath these smiley cartoons?
Well, the problem is that your face is sensitive biometric data, right? It's often used in verification, identification, and can be used for surveillance. So if you go and upload a picture of your face yourself into an AI platform, it becomes potentially part of that data set and can then be reused and repurposed for other things, including deepfakes. It's reasonably possible is that you go in, you upload a picture of yourself, it becomes part of the training set, and then somehow it ends up in somebody else's conversations who may not even know you, but they want to generate a picture of someone who looks like you, and then they can use that for different purposes.
Yeah. So I mean, so I seen this video and I'm like, there's nothing new. Like, what was the like when Snapchat came out and everybody was doing the dog ears and the tongue licking out or whatever. And then, periodically we get these, hey, make yourself into a superhero, make yourself into a caricature or whatever. So these things come up. And I know nobody's going to sit there and read the 10 pages of agreements that you agree to. So I kind of want to pose a question in this conversation is personal data and even biometrics, is it more of a kind of a farce now that stuff is that you have any level of privacy when we interacting with all these digital things every day?
That's pretty much my take on it. I mean, if you're worried about uploading your photo to ChatGPT and making a funny cartoon, I mean, I think that's probably the least of your worries. It's pretty much well understood at this point. Yeah, if you have any social media presence at all, it's accessible. Everyone can see it on the internet. Yeah, like you said, anytime you've ever done, video chat, there's security cameras everywhere. Every time you go to the airport, they take your picture. I mean, if you are not wanting your face to be online or digitally tracked at all, I don't even know what measures you could take at this point in time to completely avoid that outside of being a straight up hermit in a cave, dude. Because if you participate in modern society, you're online. Your shit is tracked, even if you don't have social media yourself. All the cameras around do, and now there's like AI systems being plugged into them. So I mean, it's too late. It's too late. You
Yeah.
can't do shit.
Yeah, it always kills me when I see kind of I won't call that an uproar, but when they trying to bring light to that, when that's kind of more public. You're putting your face out there into an app or some type of thing. But when you go to the ATM, you looking, there's a camera looking at you. When you go pump your gas, guess what? There's a camera looking at you, right? When you're checking out of Walmart and you look up and they make sure it's HD, so you're gonna look at yourself, look at, oh damn, I look good today, right? I'm like, it's cameras everywhere, and the you think that's going to become a problem? Become a problem when we start talking about stuff like digital twins and ad campaigns, where you're probably something in the bylaws or your contract when you filled out for the app that we could use your things for our digital campaigns and our billboards if you want to put them up. Do you think that's going to eventually be a large scale problem, or they're just going to say, hey, no, when you hit that accept button for this app, you already agreed to all that, buddy?
Yeah, I think we're just in the Wild West right now, and pretty soon it won't matter. The systems are so powerful, you can generate whatever the hell you want. So I don't know how you're going to get around it. I think honestly, we're going to have to switch to different modes of doing things. Like it's going to have to be truly physical, fingerprint scans or straight up like retinal scans. But even then, I mean, you might be able to mimic that with a powerful enough machine. I don't know what the future is going to look like, but we're in the middle of such a significant change and so much compute being thrown at these systems all at once that it's just all over the damn place. And it's just really hard to say how it's going to turn out. But in the future, I don't think it's going to matter. Having a digital representation of you or whatever, like it's not going to matter. These machines, they can make whatever the hell you want. Yeah. And people are going to have rogue ones that can break rules and shit. So, I don't know. We just haven't quite figured out how we want to manage these things and live in this type of a world. And we probably won't because it's going too fast. So we're constantly going to be playing catch up as a society to try to figure out how we manage this shit.
Yeah, the security plus in me and everything like that be looking like, oh man, here we go again. Everybody uploading all their features and everything like that. But then I'm like, that's society today. Hey, it's like, it's no, like I said, your data and your digital presence is your digital fingerprints are everywhere. So, all right. So I guess we're just kind of on the same boat as that. I'm moving to this next topic, kind of along the same realm, just kind of going a little bit deeper of kind of what's going on.
Tonight, the CEO of Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, on the stand today. Mark Zuckerberg testifying in a landmark case now. The company's accused of making Instagram addictive to children and teens. Here's Elizabeth Schulze tonight.
Tonight, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg grilled in front of a jury for the first time in a landmark trial over claims Instagram is designed to be addictive for kids and teens. The case centered on a 20-year-old who says she started using social media at age 10. Her lawsuit claiming the app's features got her hooked, eventually leading to depression, anxiety, and body image issues. Zuckerberg.
So, I mean, a 20-year-old, not a kid, but let me go. I'll start this one off or whatnot. Me personally, I don't look for big business that's looking to increase shareholder value to care about what's going on in your household and how your children or yourself. They mentioned children there, but I mean, adults are in the same boat these days, right? We kind of got our neck downs in these devices also. So I don't look to Mark Zuckerberg to police my kids' app usage and what they should be doing. That's when we talk about education, we talk about social media, those things need to be cultivated in the household. And again, there's a healthy level of social media and kind of seeing what's going on in the world and seeing the funnies and stuff like that. And then hopefully you have that supervision where you said, no, that's over usage. But that's where also that you got to take the personal responsibility inside your household to grab your kids up, take them for a hike, grab your kids up, take them to the basketball court, take them to the park. That's a personal responsibility to make sure that you're carving out those niches or those events within your household to get away from the digitalness of life. Because as we just talked about, digital life is a thing now. It's like a third arm now, right? That's something that you have and that you got to deal with. But again, I look at that as in the home. You ain't got to put Mark Zuckerberg in the court. They have psychologists to make these things addictive. We all know that is not a secret, right? But is in your household to make sure that you are having a healthy balance of social media and social media presence, and also monitoring your children's social media presence to make sure they ain't doing some bullshit on the online also. So that's my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you basically nailed it. I was pretty much going to say the exact same thing, and I don't think that Instagram or Meta or any of these other platforms are nefariously trying to addict children to Instagram or whatever. As you mentioned, I think it's a bit addictive for everyone. So it does have to be managed personally on a case by case basis. And I think it's crazy that he's being brought into Congress to plead his case, because if that's the route that we're going to go down out as a society, then anybody that manufactures alcohol, anybody that manufactures nicotine, anybody that manufactures junk food or any of that bullshit or any of these other things that we are fully aware of that are not good for you, then you need to pull all those motherfuckers into before Congress as well. So it doesn't make any sense just to be targeting this. Be like, well, Jenny, she can't stop scrolling. Well, you should have handled that, mom and dad, like before it got to that point. And if it's a problem now, then you need to handle it now as best you can. I mean, cat's out of the bag, and maybe it did sneak up on people a little bit, and I can understand that. It was one of these transitions where you're just like, especially for someone our age, we just kind of wake up and we're like, look around the restaurant or the bar and we'll be like, oh shit, everyone is just looking at their phone and no one's even talking to each other. Like, this is crazy. This is not how it used to be. So it did sneak up a little bit, but now we're aware. And if you're not aware, I guess you are now if you're hearing my voice, but you got to learn how to manage these things in a healthy manner, just like all those other things I mentioned, and you can't look at the government to come save the day or police up your household. That's your damn problem.
And I don't see what folks don't understand. If I go to a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I think it is free. Do you not understand how they need to keep you on there to run the commercials? It's a free platform to try to get your data, start to know your likes, start to know your habits to sell you things. So even though we think about social media and all of us coming together and kind of looking at things and news and everything of that nature, the ultimate goal of that company is to get you to buy something, to get you to buy something through that platform. So so that's social media safety starts in the household, boys and girls. So we see, but they always pulling them back in court. I'm like, it's not gonna change. More than likely, it's gonna get worse. So we need to start curtailing, what we need to curtail now. I mean, even though I got my kids in here, they always in their phone. Hey, what you looking at? Hey, let me see what you got going on there or whatever. And I just make sure that, they are involved in school activities, etc., to try to balance it out a little bit. It's not going anywhere. So try to at least find some balance in that. So
yeah, 100%. And we live and learn as a society. And I'm a perfect example of it. I got two kids that are teenagers, and yeah, they use their stuff a lot. And sometimes I think maybe they got on it a little too young or whatever, but it's too late now, and here I am a little bit older and thinking about having another child, and I start to think much more deeply about how I want to approach it this time around, because again, it snuck up on everyone previously. So now I'm like, okay, what is the no shit point where you start introducing your kid to these things? Again, case by case basis, based on maturity and what kind of safety protocols that you can implement within your household to make sure they aren't going wild. But yeah, again, I mean, we're just all learning about this together and learning how to manage it. But one thing that gives me hope is you hear also from some of the younger generations that they are already aware of it, and they're like, hey, we got to put these phones down, boys. We got to get out there and live.
Now you got to right now you got to like a big dumb phone, flip phone kind of revolution kind of come trying to bring some of those devices back to give you this basic phone functionality and kind of take all the time sucks out of them. So yeah, we'll see how it play out.
yeah, TBD.
Yep. All right, let's go to.
You've said AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment to 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years.
Yes,
that's shocking.
That is the future we could see if we don't become aware of this problem now.
Half of all entry-level white-collar jobs.
Well, if we look at entry-level consultants, lawyers, financial professionals, many of kind of the white-collar service industries, a lot of what they do, AI models are already quite good at, and without intervention. it's hard to imagine that there won't be some significant job impact there. And my worry is that it'll be broad and it'll be faster than what we've seen with previous technology.
You've said.
So I got some other thoughts on Anthropic, but we'll kind of get into that in another talk with everything that's kind of going on right now. But I think we just seen Block. They just cut 40% of their workforce recently. So let me ask you. Let me take this topic a little bit different. If you were starting your career right now as a kid out of high school or trying to get a major through college or getting in the workforce, what are your recommendations? What would be your recommendations right now of the focus area that somebody needs to be in right now in order to be to have a productive career in the forthcoming workforce?
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with the trades at this point. That is going to be something that is the most likely to stick around for the longer amount of time. Of course, maybe Optimus comes in and they start doing those jobs too, and they become plumbers and electricians and everything else. But we got some time before that happens. And I think Elon even said something about it. It's like his main point was, if you are manipulating molecules in that you are interfacing with the physical world, your career outlook looks like it has a longer lifespan than if you sit on a computer, because at the end of the day, if you have a computer job, a cubicle job, those are the first things that are going to get taken away. And just like he said, that entry level stuff, if you're crunching Excel sheets or collecting basic data or, giving out some like junior level investment advice, like, guess what? We do not need you anymore, bro. Like that's kind of over. But again, it's kind of this theme that we're talking about throughout this episode. It's just, we're in the midst of it. It's happening quick. We don't really know what's on the other side yet.
Yeah. I agree with you. Also, trades. I think that's kind of the no-brainers, obviously. And I think we talked about this at the job too. I think this is me trying to predict. This is all opinion statements, right? That we're going to have a renaissance back to real things. People are going to be more interested in the arts and kind of going and seeing plays and seeing real people show real emotion again. They're acting, but so real emotion and things of that. I think the harder, and kind of we just talked about the cell phone thing, right? The harder we go towards this robotics and things of that nature, I think you're going to have a nice split back to when people would sit around and listen to poems and trying to get that tactile feel and being next with people and and heart and soul type things versus everything's digital. Because again, we use AI every day. I use it every day, but when I go in there, again, I know it's not a person. Sometimes I treat it like one, but
I know, right?
But it gets me to what I need fast, and it gives me a damn good product too. So again, if you're just using your Claudes, your which one you like, Grok, right? Grok, your Chat GPTs, your writing's on the wall. These things are, and the models are coming out faster and faster and faster. And the more we use them, it's going to be an exponential growth because now we're feeding it more. So it's going to go faster and faster. So again, I agree with you. It's going to be get those trades. Look at those trades. That's going to be, I know your boy trying to take out the trucking industry. I ain't see, right. haven't seen what's the truck called? You trying to come up with what it's called?
I can't remember what his name was.
Whatever the semi truck Elon was trying to come out with. Shit, you probably need them now with all these damn 18-wheel accidents with these fake licenses that's going on right now. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a renaissance back to the Renaissance type era of those things. In my opinion, will I be here to see it? Maybe not. But the harder you go right, the harder people are going to go left. Also.
Yeah, 100%. And I was even thinking about that for things that I was doing myself. I've done these kind of social coordination side gigs and hosting events like out in the town because community is a big thing that, I think is important and I think everybody needs. I've talked about it a ton, on my show, of course, but, I think it's a big deal. And we're already aware that with technology, people can kind of isolate. It's real easy just to kick back and watch Netflix or whatever. But as this thing continues, I see that being more and more critical, like just to our to our culture and to our society in general. So, I mean, that might be another field that people can get into, like coordinating events, or becoming some kind of event planner, or intentionally getting people out into the real world, like get away from the screen, get out here. We're hosting hikes and group rides, or you're hosting the next 5K or whatever. So anything that involves like in the face to face, or again physical manipulation of the world, and there's going to be big markets for that.
Yeah. Keep telling Gary, get that 4x4 business going on.
Something, man. Hey, get out there.
All right, this last one, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. It's been a big topic the last couple of weeks. So obviously we two veterans, so I kind of wanted to hit this topic while it's kind of fresh in the news.
VA just issued a rule without the normal process to do so that's going to reduce ratings for almost every disability out there. My name is Claire Hillen Sosa, and I'm a senior VA disability attorney at Duderman Law Group. Here's what happened. Historically, for the past 2 decades, there's been a rule that the courts have established saying that unless a rating schedule mentions medication, VA should rate a disability based on how bad it is without any medication. Recently, there was a court case named Ingram that confirmed this, and all of a sudden, VA is using this as an emergency excuse to, without prior notice and comment, change the ratings so that VA will only rate your disabilities based on how severe they are after they've been treated. This obviously is a huge deal and is going to change a lot of ratings out there. It may result in reductions, although that's a little bit unclear, but at the very least, it raises risks of reduction if you file new claims and potentially undercompensates a lot of people.
All right, so there's been a big topic, especially in the veterans community, for the last couple of weeks, and I think they backed off on it a little bit now, whatever. So I think
they did.
Yeah, so I think we're kind of in the clear right now. But when I saw, and we're looking at the news every day at work and everything, and I see them, they're going after the Doge. Then we start Department of Education and all these Department of Defense institutions. I don't know why anybody would think that they weren't going to start poking around at the VA, even though we know the VA been wrought with, been trying to reform itself for years and years now or whatnot. On this specific topic and messing with VA ratings, I'm like, you're not playing to your base, that's for sure. But to even start bringing that up, and especially even now when we talking about we're in conflict right now, and you kind of talking about folks who whether in the last conflict or maybe the conflict before that, and start talking about messing with livelihoods, that's definitely a dangerous topic to start there. But go ahead, I'll open our conversation up to your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So a few things. First, that became a conversation or a possibility is insane to me, because expecting anyone to just like eat these pills for the rest of your life, you're healed. That doesn't even compute at all in my brain. And maybe that's a little bit personal for me because I'm very much like an anti-interventionist. I don't take any medication. I try to keep it that way as much as possible. And it's not like I'm a conspiracy theory guy or whatever, but it's just so many of these things you're playing whack-a-mole with your body's chemistry, and I'm not really interested in that game because, again, in my personal experience, I have tried a few medications, throughout my life, some stuff for like trying to help with mental health, and I always had horrible reactions and made things, infinitely worse. Yeah, man, and same thing with like sleeping meds and just different things like that. They just messed me up. It was never good. So I don't take anything except for vitamins, but I do got a big old tray of vitamins, and people are like, "Holy shit, that's a lot of pills," but it's just vitamin D and fish oil and stuff like that. So to try to say like, take these pills, you're better, we're going to reduce your rating, I think is bananas, at least to me. And then to like do a quick tangent, like the VA does need an overhaul. I definitely think that needs to happen. My two ideas are, why do you even need VA clinics? Why don't you just wrap VA healthcare into an insurance plan, make it another slice of TRICARE or something? So now you have TRICARE Select, TRICARE for Life, whatever. You have TRICARE for veterans, and you have insurance for your specific things depending on your rating, whatever. Get rid of all VA clinics. It's so stupid that they even exist. And then there does need to be a little bit of an adjustment to the claims process or some way to verify legitimacy to a certain degree. You know, you have to be legal and ethical about it, but we're both aware that the cat is out of the bag, that some of these kids know that they can come to join the military. They can stay in for 3 years and then they can say they have horrible depression and anxiety and whatever, and they can get large ratings, if not 100% sometimes. And there are times when their coworkers and everyone around them knows like, that's not right. That guy was a piece of shit and he's just working the system. So there needs to be a way to figure that out.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing.
Out then that's for sure. And these groups and these, and everything that don't do us any favors when they kind of just everything's on Front Street. But again, some of that thing is culture, right? Because we never, I'll speak for myself, never been my best health advocate while on active duty, right? And I was just brought up in the culture of take this Motrin, drink some water, suck it up, and move on. And I did that through my whole career. Luckily, that last unit I was in, I was blessed to have, the physical therapists, that, athletic trainers and things that I had the resources there. But that's my only unit in my life I've ever had that. Everything else was go to sick call. You might have a PA there, but the PA dealing with a whole freaking unit, right? So you're not going to get those individual medical attention. And then you don't want to be the dirtbag that's cat whatever and can't deploy, right? So you do this your whole life trying to suck it up, drive on. You get to the end of your career, you express what ails you, you try to get everything documented or whatnot, and then down the line, they start coming back saying, oh, are you taking some type of pain med for that? Or do you feel good when you take that? That's kind of a slap in the, I find that a little disrespectful too, especially when it's if you have servers kind of making some of those decisions. But again, there, as you stated, there's a dirty underbelly of the whole thing also. And until I actually went through the retirement process and kind of saying, I don't know how this process even works, because you don't find out the process till you go through it, and you go you go down your YouTube rabbit holes and you be like, yo, it's a dirty underbelly. It's a dirty underbelly out here. So again, we could do some internal as veterans and active duty kind of cleaning up how that works. But yeah, I agree. It definitely needs to be looked at. But I would hope, this is a hope. Hope is not a method, right? That the majority of folks who are receiving some type of compensation, especially if you went 20 years, even if you didn't get blown up, your body is beat down more than a person who does work a regular job throughout the year. So again, they need to, and I know they're trying to look at, hey, let's call it compensation versus disability, because now they're trying to get two cops who had DV plates and everything. So I think this thing is in the clear for now, but as everything, it's going to bubble back up with another, especially when we get into election season and things of that nature, as another talking point. But I say what Will Smith say: keep the veteran's name out your mouth. So
yeah, pretty much. And anything like that, whenever you're going to tackle an issue like that, you almost always you're going to have to grandfather it. You can't go switching somebody up that's been out for this amount of time and they're set up, and then you're like, boom, we slash your shit in half because you're taking blood pressure medicine and you're better or whatever. And you just can't do that to people. I would be willing to go get re-rated, but I would never project that on anyone else, So you got to grandfather it if you do want to make a change. But there is probably changes that need to happen. But it's like you said, it's just government bloat at its best, playing fuck games. And then as soon as they get squeezed a little bit, they're gonna come for us. They're not gonna go for themselves.
Yeah, but like I said, slap in the face. You can't. I mean, we know what it costs to shoot a missile, right? So you can't, munitions, and then we when I say we as a government, I want to say waste money, but we utilize so much money. It's kind of hard to say, hey, the folks who raised their hand, did the oath, came in, especially your 20-year plus folks or whatever, and then start coming back trying to peel back the onion on folks who gave you pretty much their whole lives in service or whatever. So we'll see where this goes in the future. I mean, we're in conflict right now, so it's gonna be quiet for that until we get through this.
Yeah. 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 We're going to be back to, thank you for your service and shit for a little while.
Exactly. So, all right, man, that's all I'm about to hit on today, man. Again, I appreciate your time as always. I'll shoot you the link, and I'll make sure I get all the Minds of Formation stuff in the show notes or whatnot. So, we're doing some art too. I'll send you. I think, you know, I always look at it like this: if I sat in a room with 50 people, right? That's a pretty significant, population.
Dude,
So-
yeah, that's nothing to scoff at, Yeah, you'd be like, oh, only 50 people watch that video. I'd be like, okay, well, go have this conversation in front of 50 people. And you can start shaking like a leaf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. I'll get you the video when it's done.
All right, brother. Until next time.